He's young, he's got tremendous upside, and the Eagles may trade him. Dallas still stinks. Yo, but the way King Dingbat here, and when has a team in the NFL picked and drafted so well every year that they have so many guys they have to resign at the same time that they just can't do it? Has that ever happened before where a team is just hitting on like every pick and all these contract extensions are all coming up at the same time and they can't do it? So they let some guys go and then they draft more guys and all those guys seem to be good as well. That's where we're in when you talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. This is what we're in the midst of. Because if you look at this team over the last 4 years, they're drafting fantastic. Look at last year. You have 3 guys, the first 3 picks, all contributed, all were big factors. This has happened to the Eagles in multiple drafts now, and because of it, we are possibly looking at trading one of the guys that I never thought they would be looking to trade so quick, but it could happen because they have too much depth. And what am I talking about is the talk of Eli Ricks, a kid who is very young, has a lot of upside, and frankly, I prefer not to do this. But it's being talked about whether he could possibly be a potential trade candidate for the Eagles. Get this. Vikings trade pitch brings 23-year-old Eagles corner to the Vikings. Now, we hate the Vikings, right? We hate the Vikings. The article goes on to say, having met with Minnesota at the NFL Combine 2023, Eli Ricks could already be on the team's radar as he's a long-term boundary corner whose physical skill set aligns well with defensive coordinator Brian Flores, who could be looking into bringing a defensive back. Okay? Now, the Eagles, we may be saying, oh, well, they need another corner on the other side to Ringo, and they need a safety. Well, I think the Eagles think those guys, and I do think those guys know that Ringo can play, okay? So, with the emergence of if Ringo could start, and then you have Cooper, then you have Q, and then with another draft pick that we're going to talk about in a minute, because of that, this is something that maybe could possibly happen. Now, what would the Eagles get in return? That's the key for Ricks, okay? Okay, so they said given the Eagles' depth at defensive back and Ricks' limited role in 2024, a trade wouldn't be a huge surprise. The Vikings could offer a conditional late-round draft pick, a 2026 fifth-round pick that would turn into a 4th if Ricks start 10 games or finishes with 3 or more interceptions. So it could go all the way up to a 4th-round pick for Eli Ricks. I like Eli Ricks, but if the Eagles, if it does get to the point where they could possibly trade him, if you could get a 4th-round pick for him, you've made out like bandits, okay? Now, I like Ricks, and I think Ricks is a guy that I'm going to be interested in watching, but why is this even being talked about? What would make Ricks potentially a trade candidate? It's this. Unpopular Eagles rookie, pegged as unexpected breakout player, okay? And I'm talking about Mac McWilliams. Mac McWilliams probably at the time was my least favorite pick. Didn't know much about him, but it was. And I think by most Eagle fans, it was probably the one we got least excited about. We didn't think he was a bust or anything like that. We just said, we don't know. We don't know anything about him, okay? But he has turned heads at OTAs. He has standed out, right? Jimmy Kempski even said, of the Philly Voice even said this. Jimmy Kempski of Philly Voice was asked in his June 13th question and answer column if there were any off-the-radar players who could make an unexpected impact Okay, he chose 3 guys. One was Uche, one was a return of Ben Van Summeren, and then Mac McWilliams. And we've heard a lot about him, okay? He said, I like what I saw from him in the spring practices. McWilliams is probably the 5th player on the cornerback totem pole right now. And he also is the backup slot corner behind Cooper DeJean. So Mac McWilliams is turning enough heads that the Eagles may actually have to move a guy like Eli Ricks. It's something to keep in mind. It's something to watch. But if this happens, right, if this goes down the way they're talking, I have to say, like, to me, if you got a 4th round pick, well, 5th, that becomes a 4th, I think that would be a lot. But I like Eli Ricks, and I think he could play. So hopefully the Eagles will find a way to actually use him. But Mac McWilliams has been a pleasant surprise. No question about it. It's crazy. It's crazy how well the Eagles have drafted. Really, it really is. I'm going to talk about another position where people are talking there's a breakout candidate. We've got them all over the place because we play our young guys. We coach them up and we play them. And it's a big deal, right? Eagles have another potential breakout star. And this was a list that was done by PFF, right? The Philadelphia Eagles lost some big players this offseason, but that will open the door for some internal options to step up in bigger roles. Example, defensive tackle Moro Ojomo played all 17 regular season games last year and now is in line with a bigger role with Milton Williams leaving. Yes, he is, and he's about to go off, okay? Ojomo, one of the major factors for the Eagles' success over the last few years has been their development of unheralded defensive linemen from Sweat to Milton Williams. All signs point to Ojomo following in those footsteps. As part of the Super Bowl winning campaign, Ojomo quietly played a critical role in deep interior defender rotation. The former 7th round pick ended the season with an 82.4 PFF pass rushing grade, including an 83.8 PFF pass rushing grade on pass sets. Each of those figures ranked top 11 among defensive linemen, and his 18.2% pass rush win rate was the second best among qualifiers, trailing only Chris Jones. If Moro Ojomo is what I think he's going to be, and I think this team is littered with these guys because the Eagles have picked well. But Moro Ojomo is going to go out there, and if he has a season, which I think he is, because I think he's on the same trajectory as Milton Williams, you're looking at the best. You're looking at the best interior defensive line in football. They're deep and they're good. One, Jalen Carter. Now, Jalen Carter is the guy that makes everything go. Milton Williams, it'll be curious to see what he does without Jalen Carter there. But as long as Jalen Carter's there and Moro Ojomo's lining up, he's gonna have more opportunities because Carter's going to attract and get so much of the attention. Jordan Davis looks like he's in the best shape of his life. People are talking about a breakout year. Okay, so if Davis is what we think he is with Jalen Carter, I mean, who do you double? Who do you double? They want to double Jordan Davis because of size, but they can't because they got Jalen Carter. It's brutal. This is the best interior defensive line. Then Moro Ojomo breaking out like I think he's going to. Ty Robinson, maybe one of the biggest sleepers in the draft. You got just those 4 guys in the rotation. You should have the best interior defensive line in football. And the Eagles are littered with this. You just look, all the young guys they got. Look at what people are expecting. Well, maybe people aren't expecting enough, but I'm expecting a ton from Jalen Hunt. You've got Coop. You got Q. You got Nolan Smith. You got Carter. You got Davis. You're littered with young guys who are all playing big, big roles on this team. That's just the defensive side of the ball. What about the offensive side of the ball? Look at that line. You lose a Hall of Fame center in Jason Kelsey, and you replace him with Cam Jurgens, and that year you go back and win a Super Bowl? Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata. I mean, look at these young guys. This team is really good because they've drafted really, really well. And we're seeing, I think, something we haven't seen from NFL teams before, where you've drafted so well in the mid rounds and early picks, mid picks, that all these extensions and everything are coming up at one time at the same time. You have to let guys like Sweat go and Milton Williams because you can't pay them all. That's where we're at right now. If Jomo goes out, has a great year, he's going to wind up getting a big contract when he becomes a free agent. It's just the way it is. I mean, we're talking about maybe letting Eli Ricks, a kid, a young defensive back, go or get traded him because we just don't have the room. That's how good the Eagles are. That's how much ahead of everybody else they are. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision, baby. We're all just living in it.
Oh, God. No. I want to be like the Eagles.
That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.